This was by far the most epic ride, trek, party I've experienced. What an insane trip. Laya, you beauty. So come along for the ride. It's going to be a great video. I took a train and got down at Hasimara, which is the nearest railway station from Bhutan border, and then auto rickshaw to Fushilin.
हेलो गाइस, तो मैं अभी जा रहा हूँ भूटान। तो फाइनली मुझे पास मिल गया। अभी यहाँ से मैं जाऊँगा थिम्फू, फिर बाद में कल सुबह निकलूँगा लाया के लिए।
By walking, I reached
शिलिंग बस स्टैंड। अभी मैंने टिकट ली है 185 की, जो कि बहुत चीप है और वो लास्ट सीट थी। तो मैडम ने मुझे बोला था कि वो लास्ट सीट है लोगे। और ये छोटी सी बस है यहाँ पर, उसका नाम है एच। देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर, और पूरा डस्टी विंडी है यहाँ पर। वेदर भी एकदम ख़राब है।
I made it to Thimphu and boy, the air was so fresh. Mr. Dorji, a local person from Thimphu, came to pick me up and arrange a motorcycle, gave some useful tips and told Indians and Chinese are not allowed to visit Laya.
Indian clients are not allowed to go to Laya. They're not allowed for trekking. Because Laya is a border to China. So they don't want to cross the border. Even the Chinese are not allowed. Chinese and Indians are not allowed. Why?
यहाँ पर हमारे दोरजी सर हैं। हेलो सर, हाउ आर यू?
Not allowed my. Let's check out Laya and the Highland festival. I came up with the idea of wearing Bhutanese national gold dress so that no one can recognize me as a tourist, and set up from the Punaka after being hosted by Shekhar and Penjo the previous night, who told me the stories of how it generally rains when an outsider visits this mountain for the first time. I shrugged it off as a folklore, only to be greeted by the rain gods within an eye into the ride. After a while, as the air kept getting thinner and the temperature dropped to almost zero, my finger went numb and my shoes were drenched to a point where I couldn't feel my legs. As I reached around 3000 meters, the roads started to disappear. I rode on through slushy dirt roads ravaged by 4x4 trucks within steep hairpin bends. The last thing I expected at this point was river crossing on motorcycle. Dead. What seems like a shallow crossing turned out to be a deep enough to ruin the motorcycle and cold enough to defreeze my feet. I was indefinitely stuck in middle of a freezing river. Thankfully, a few minutes later, a bunch of people returning from a trek happened to pass by and their guide helped me to cross the river. It's in this moment you realize the fragility of it all. I finally made it to Koina, the start point of the trek.
फाइनली पहुंच चुके हैं बेस कैंप, और राइड तो बहुत ख़तरनाक था। तो यहाँ से मैं अभी जा रहा हूँ चल के। तो चलो देखेंगे ये फेस्टिवल कैसा होता है।
With renewed spirit, I treaded on through these beautiful valleys and ravines. Every step was so breathtaking, I forgot all about my frozen feet. Turns out, I was looking at a 20 kilometers of trail, mostly uphill, that will take me to the almost 4000 meter. After a couple of hours, reality set in again. I came across people returning with a muse to lug their baggage. I just hope by some miracle I could hire a muse to take me to the top. Tough luck. The sun was out and it started to snowfall. The views were spectacular. By then I was dead beat and decided to rest for a while. As I was getting ready to continue, I saw a local making his way up with a muse and his hyri.
मुझे रास्ते में कौन तो मिल गए हैं लोकली, तो उसने मेरा बैग भी कैरी कर किया है.
He was nothing short of a savior, and I figured best to catch up the festival was to keep up with him. I managed to reach the Sika army checkpost, and I saw soldiers were having a great time and playing carom game. They were kind enough to offer me tea, which was best tea I ever had, especially in this weather condition.
Yeah. Yeah. Cheese.
Eventually, after 5 hours and 24-kilometer trekking, I managed to make it to the top by just in time see the tribes of Highland descend down from the mountain.
और आप यहाँ पर देख सकते हैं चारों तरफ पूरा स्नो ये है, माउंटेन है. तो आप यहाँ से अगर देखोगे अभी थोड़ा,
If there was a heaven on earth, this was it. I decided to climb uphill to get a good view of Laya. The festivities began with a welcoming ceremony. By being only Indian in the crowd, I had to ensure I am at my best behavior. We would normally be in the presence of King of Bhutan, but since he was in a diplomatic trip to Japan, he couldn't attend this edition of the festival. Nevertheless, seeing the Prime Minister of Bhutan in such close proximity, having a ball with gathering was so good. The festival declares open and the program begins. This was followed by the beautiful Adon Yak parades to the ground. Cultural dances in surreal setting framed by the majestic snow-capped mountains. The festival offers the visitor an insight into lives of Highland communities, their culture and tradition. By 8 p.m. the temperature started plummeting to below zero. The massive bonfire did manage to warm me up a little, but my feet were still soaked, and all I wanted at this point was to take off my shoes and jump into the fire. The film stars later entertained the gathering into the night. Hot porridge, tea and alcohol was served by the festival organizers all around the fire throughout the evening. With no shelter for a night in Laya, I met bunch of locals while walking downhill after the after party. One of them seemed concerned and asked to come along with him. Reached his place only to find out 6 people crammed into 10 by 10 space. I was pretty sure I wouldn't last the night outside.
What's the name of Rinpoche, that yellow color?
One of them is a Bhutanese radio jockey.
We Bhutanese are really lucky to have a Lama like him in our country.
Also your king.
Yeah, our king. I don't think I have anything to say about our king because we know that all our kings very great.
King is very down to earth person.
He takes care of our people like his own children. And I don't think that you can go anywhere in the world
And you'll find such.
and you will never find such a leader, such a king.
What better way to start the morning than to wake up this majestic view of mountains right in your front yard.
This is the Bhutanese architect.
Yes.
So even when we build really like big buildings in temple, you should always have
Other
certain
windows.
design in
Yes.
Just made this entire ordeal worth it.
तो चलो guys, see you. Okay, thanks for everything.
Example, how are you doing? We are going back from Laya.
Yeah.
Punaka.
He's a local guy from
Yeah.
Thimphu.
So I wish I could spend more time there, but had to make it back to the motorcycle, which was abandoned in middle of nowhere. The last thing I wanted was to go back to Punaka all the way on foot. The body had hardly recovered from the previous day.
So guys, हाथ में ये है डस्टबिन है, तो इसको मैं चलते चलते लाया साफ करूँगा.
By midday, I reached the spot where I had left the bike. Bhutan also happens to be one of the safest places on the planet. You could leave anything behind and be rest assured you would find it untouched. Turns out I had an issue on motorcycle acceleration. I waited for hours in middle of nowhere, and to my luck there was chief of police stopped by.
Did you cross this? Yeah. I crossed this river because of that only my bike got.
And towed my motorcycle back of his truck. He then invited me to his house.
ये क्या है? What's this?
This is light.
अभी नहीं हुआ.
I woke up next day at officer's house seeing one of a kind Tibetan mastiff dog and snowy view of mightiest Gaza mountains. Next day, we went to do the Laya town along with officer's wife and had some local delicious meal.
यहाँ पर शहर है.
By afternoon, I left Gaza town to Punaka, but downhill again acceleration on motorcycle happened. I managed to get a truck to tow again.
तो गाइस यहाँ पर गाड़ी लोडिंग करके गाज़ा से, जो गाज़ा जोन में ऊपर से जा रहे हैं पुनाका. तो बहुत दिक्कत हुआ लोडिंग के लिए, सिर्फ 3 ही लोग थे यहाँ पे.
The mutual love and respect people have for each other, their willingness to go their way to help others is something I haven't seen too many other places. It was truly humbling to be among these amazingly warm and hospitable people. No wonder Bhutan is called the happiest country on earth.